The most common objection. Price, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In my career, we have always been the highest price. Maybe, let me rephrase that. 90% of the time, whatever I've sold has been the highest price. So I had better come up with a methodology of handling the price objection. So here it is, everybody. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to give it to you twice so you get it. Because I know everyone wants to know how to do this. And I need you to pay special attention to this. When your customer says your price is too high, you say, well, let me make sure I understand the question. Is what you're asking me, why is my price higher than the other prices you've received? Yes. And you say, other than that, is there anything between you and I? Once you do all of that, then you say, if prices were exactly the same, would you do business with me? Do you agree? The answer has to be yes.
Absolutely.
Because if the answer is not yes and price is a non-issue, you've really screwed up.
Right.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
I mean, get good with this, everybody. If the price were a non-issue and they still don't buy from you, you better go get another career. Or you shouldn't have been playing in the first place. So when she answers yes, the prices are the same, sure I'd buy from you. Then here's what we normally do, which is not the right thing to do, but here's what we normally do. We go into what I call the price conditioning, not the price conditioning, where we're justifying the price, where we say, price justification model. Yeah, but we do more of this, but we have more of that. We already said all of that. And that had no effect. So saying it over again is not going to help you. There's another one of Ray's rules. People do not argue with their own data. You want the client to say what you would have said. The client just told you if the prices were the same, they would buy from you. So here's what you say. Why? That's it. Why? If the prices were the same, why would you buy from me? Their answer is going to tell you what value added they put on what you just sold.
Right.
Well, I like the fact that you've got a great reputation. I like the fact that you have the local service department. I like the fact that you're on the New York Stock Exchange, so you're financially sound.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, the more things they can add, the more they're selling themselves.
Right.
But now I'm also going to assume that the client is stupid. And they don't understand what their decision is. Every decision is a risk-reward decision. And I'm going to incorporate something called spatial selling at the same time. S-P-A-T-I-A-L, spatial selling. Meaning you can attach an emotion to a physical space. So I'm going to say this. And let's get some parameters here. Let's assume you're offering a service, the IT, whatever it is, and the service you're offering is going to save them $10,000 a month, whatever the number. And your price is $10,000 higher than your competitor. It's a $100,000 project, you're 110, the other guy's 100. Something in that neighborhood. We're trying to make the arithmetic work. So here's how I would say this. Mr. Client, every decision in business is a risk-reward decision. You've already told me that you know that we can give you everything you demand, deserve, and expect, that the process will work, that it will help you, and we're reiterating everything that they said they wanted, that they agree that we do. I'm now reminding them of all the benefits that they're going to get. So what is the worst thing that can happen to you if you buy from me?
I've spent $10,000 more.
$10,000 more for the project.
Right.
Big deal. So the worst that can happen when you buy from me is you spend $10,000 more than you wanted to spend. On the other hand, I'm moving over. I'm physically moving to another space. When I'm talking about me, in this particular example, I'm over here to my left. When I'm now going to talk negative, I've moved to my right. Spatial selling. So if you buy from the cheap alternative, I never say the low-cost alternative, I always use the word cheap. If you buy the cheap alternative and the module fails, what's the worst that can happen to your company? And now I'm going to remind them of all the things problems they had by not having X. And then I might even say, would that cost you your job? So what's the best that can happen to you if you choose the cheap alternative? What's the maximum reward?
They should start listing.
No, the maximum reward if they choose
They
the
get
cheap
everything they want. Oh, cheap alternative, they lose $10,000.
No, they gain 10,000. If they buy from the cheap guy,
Got it.
the best that they can hope to win is $10,000. Their downside is they lose everything. On our side, the worst that can happen is they spend 10 grand more than they want to spend. The upside is they get everything they wanted and you get a promotion. The decision is clear. Let's get started.
So you make it seem absolutely ridiculous to go for what you call the
That
low.
$500,000 shutoff valve.
Yeah. I know there's a terminology used. What do you call them again? The competitor who's $10,000 or less?
The cheap alternative.
The cheap alternative. I remember you use that word verbiage very
The
specifically.
cheap alternative. Finally, assuming we never have an objection, or assume we've handled the objection, the next segment, I promise you, will be the perfect close.